What is up, my fellow gamers? In today's video, we got arguably the best slash highest damage dealing build in Era of Conquest. Like and sub for more amazing gaming content. We are like 10 or 15 away from 15,000. Thank you guys and girls so much. Also have a ton of extra new coupon codes. Huge shout out to my Alliance members in the Discord because they go ahead and they constantly update this list. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna flash the list of all of the available coupon codes right now. The newer ones are at the bottom, so if you already entered some at the top, just look at those ones at the bottom because we do have a few new ones that have been released over the last few days. All right, so let's head over to our heroes. Now, I'm also going to talk about the heroes in general, like the hero skill cards, adding points over here, and also for awakening, aka advancing and stuff like this. So we're going to cover a lot of stuff in this game that has to do with heroes, not just the burn build. So your basic burn build is going to be Leonidas, which you can go ahead, you can get him first top up pack for a couple dollars. Then you're gonna have Mary, and then finally El Cid. This is the like bare bones minimum that you need to have a pretty strong burn build. Now the best part about this is Leonidas is a little bit pay to win because you can go ahead and you can spend a bunch of money to get his medals, his Leonidas badges. That way you can advance him and level up his skills, talents, or whatever you want to call this, his talents, right? Yes, talents. Mary though is very free to play friendly, as well as El Cid, because Mary and El Cid you can actually get a ton of their badges through your, what do you want to call this, the tapestry, when you're just going ahead and doing your quests, your chapter quests, campaign quests, whatever you want to call it. As you complete these, you'll see in the bottom right it says burn build for free. So you can basically build the burn build for free. You're going to get a bunch of these aside from Leonidas, who you can spend a couple dollars on to get him. But as you just go through, you're going to get a bunch of medals to go ahead and advance them fairly quickly. Now, there is a more advanced burn build, and that is going to have to do with a little bit more harder to get heroes. Your first one is still going to be Leonidas. He's obviously like the best damage dealer for the burn build, but you're going to end up replacing Mary with someone else. So if we scroll down a little bit to the bottom, I actually do not have her unlocked yet, but the Empress Theodora. This one is going to basically replace Mary. She's the better version of Mary. Her special exclusive skill card, Scathing Ocean, launches a tactical attack, does a bunch of damage, inflicts burn. She basically does the same part as Mary at the beginning. However, the difference is that Theodora goes ahead, and if the target's already burning, she increases all damage dealt by a random ally unit by 20% for 1 round, which is huge because you can go ahead and you can buff Leonidas to do even more damage. Whereas for Mary, she only goes ahead and if the target's already burning, she launches an extra tactical attack. She's not really like a huge damage dealer. She's just kind of there to put a lot of burn effects on the enemy, and then Leonidas typically goes ahead and piggybacks off that because if the enemy's already burning, then he does extra damage. Third one that you can go ahead and replace El Cid. El Cid is kind of like a supporting character in that third position, but also can do damage. His Sun Knight ability launches a physical attack. If the target's already burned, increases the damage. So he's just kind of like a solid damage dealer. But if you want a better version for your burn build, we're going to replace El Cid with the Emperor Constantine. So he has a exclusive card that at the start of the battle, there's a chance to decrease the damage dealt by 2 enemies. And then during the prep round and every subsequent round, there's a chance to taunt 2 enemies. And each round, when hit by normal attacks, for the first time, you're going to increase all damage dealt and healing effect of a random ally. So again, this kind of goes hand in hand with going ahead and giving extra buffs. Regardless, you don't have to have the more advanced build. Even if you just have the basics of these 3, you're good to go. Now, the whole idea behind the burn build is it's mostly used for PvE content because it's such high damage and it's very combo oriented. So you're going to use the burn build to go ahead and clear all of this. When you're going ahead and clearing the fog and you want to capture these different territories and stuff near your city, like around your city, city and you just have all these rebels and you're going to be capturing like the stone outputs and the log outputs and so on and so forth. The problem with the burn build, however, is that it's very, very easily counterable by just building out a really good control silence team. That is the downside to the burn build. It's very combo oriented, but when the combos go off, you'll see you do like 6,000, 7,000. I mean, you can do insane amounts of damage when those combos all trigger. But a silencing team right here, going up against a team that can go ahead and silence your hero so that it just stops them from using their burn skills and stuff like that, it's really devastating and it completely disrupts your combos. Now, going hand in hand with combos is the fact that you want to make sure you put your skill cards in the correct order. You don't have the ability to change your hero's main exclusive card. This is always going to be at top. However, you have 2 additional skill cards, and the order you put these is extremely important because the way it works is it goes in order. It goes from top skill all the way to the bottom skill. You want to make sure you have skills that put the burn effect on ahead of other skills that are going to trigger extra damage or something if the enemy is already burned. Skill order is extremely important. Now, I'm not sure 100% if when you go ahead and you do like the auto quick boost and the game manually just kind of puts the skills and everything in there. I don't know if it prioritizes putting them in the right order or not. I imagine it would. So if you just come into your quick lineup upgrade and do quick boost, it should put everything in the correct order. But if you're doing it manually, just pay attention to the order of those second and third slots. Make sure you're not screwing yourself over and putting one card ahead of the other, and then you could actually be missing out on a lot of bonus damage. Moving along, let's talk about adding our points as well as advance and awakening. So when it comes to our heroes, there's 4 different main stats that they have: strength, defense, intelligence, and finally agility. Now, each one of these is going to affect a different part of their skills. So for strength, it's going to affect our physical damage. For defense, it affects our physical defense and tactical defense. Intelligence is going to affect our tactical damage. And then finally, agility affects the order of the hero's attacks in battle, which again can also play a huge part. We don't want Leonidas going before Mary when there's no burn effects on our enemies. So because of that, it's also important to check and make sure that like you don't have one of your heroes who does damage based on burn effects on the opponent going first, when you could have Mary go first, and then we know that the enemy's already going to have that burn effect on them, and we're constantly going to get that trigger of combos. So speed, this agility is very, very important. And I say that because if we go to adding points, you're going to notice that you're going to see this thumbs up icon, and it's really just going to tell you what to dump points into or the type of damage that the hero does. So if we go and take a look at like Leonidas and we go to add points, it's going to tell us to dump points into the strength category because he does physical damage. It's not going to say anything about agility. And then if we go to Mary, it's going to say to dump our points into intelligence because she does tactical damage. If you go ahead and you look at her skill cards, it'll even say 1 tactical attack, meaning she does tactical damage, which also goes hand in hand. If you're manually going to go ahead and put different skills on your heroes, make sure you're not putting a physical damage dealing card on Mary when she's all about having high intelligence for tactical damage, aka tactical attacks. So very, very important thing to make sure tactical attacks go with your intelligence, tactical damage. Don't put physical on a tactical hero. But if we go to add points, this isn't going to say anything about our agility. So because of that, you really got to pay attention to that agility. If you have a very combo oriented team like the burn build, make sure your Mary goes ahead and goes before your Leonidas. That way she can go ahead and put that burn effect on the enemy. It goes ahead and it lasts 2 rounds, and then Leonidas is going to come in and he's just going to do a ton of extra damage because of all of his skills and L Cid as well, depending on how you built him out. If we head on over to advance, the first time you go ahead and pull a hero, it's just going to be a regular hero, and you're not going to be able to distribute points into the talent system. So what you have to do is you have to pull the hero actually twice, and then you need to get that hero medal of them, so that way you can go ahead and awaken them. Once you awaken them, their card is going to change this gold color. The biggest difference, look at this one. We have Ying Zhang, however you say his name. We do not have him awakened. I need 10 of his badges, so I could pull a whole nother copy of him to get 10 instantly, or I need to keep pulling 10 badges to awaken him. From there, once you do go ahead and have them awakened, you're going to have access to unlock their talent trees. Each hero has 4 different talent trees. Now, if you've never played a base building war game like this RTS style game, then you're going to be a little bit confused and you might not know how to do it. But it is pretty much exactly the same way as any of the other base building war games that have heroes with skills. So I'm talking about stuff like Call of Dragons or any other game. You're going to notice that if you've ever heard the term 5-1-1-1, which means they would put 5 skills into their hero's rage skill, and then all of their other skills they would just have them 1-1-1, so they wouldn't go ahead and advance them with their star count because it's randomly done what gets upgraded. It's the same concept in this game, it's just done in kind of like visually a different way. And once we do go ahead and we awaken it, we'll get a couple of points and we can start to unlock these. Now the game's going to tell you which ones to unlock, and then it's going to say, okay, stop, don't unlock anymore. Now the reason behind that is you don't want to come in here and unlock all 4 of these, because what it's going to do is every time you go ahead and try to upgrade one, that's going to reduce the chance that you put an upgrade point in your best talent. So that's why it's important to come in here and pay attention to these and not just kind of go in here and upgrade all of them, because certain ones you want to have powered up more. What I mean by that is Leonidas, a perfect example. We'll take a look. The first one we have to unlock. So in battle, it's going to increase our damage bonus and damage reduction. This is an absolutely amazing skill. Honestly, if you wanted to, you could just unlock this one and leave the other 3 still locked if you wanted to. And that way you can just constantly upgrade this one and get a very high damage bonus. That's definitely a viable option to do. But if we go ahead and we unlock the second one, in battle, increases our hero's defense by a number. Now, when we do an upgrade, we got a 50-50 shot that the point is going to get distributed in one of these talents. So every time we go ahead and unlock a whole nother talent, it reduces the chance that we can go ahead and upgrade one of our better talents. This third one, it's going to increase our strength and defense. So we're getting 2 really good ones. And then this last one, it's only going to increase our strength. So as you can see, the game recommends you to only unlock these first 3, because this 4th one really doesn't help you out. Like if you end up going ahead and unlocking this, that's a 25% chance now that one of your skill points gets distributed in one of these better talents. Whereas if you have only 3 of these unlocked, now you have a 33% chance that it goes into one of these. And then if you only have these 2, 50% chance, and then 100% chance if you just have this one unlocked. So very important to pay attention to that. The game only wanted us to unlock these first 2, and that's because this one is by far her best. We take a look at this one. In battle, increases our damage bonus and damage reduction. This one is good, but at max, it only gives us a 1% damage bonus and 1% damage reduction. If as we go ahead and increase this by 1 level, we're only getting a 0.1% damage boost and damage reduction. It's hardly noticeable. The only reason we don't want to unlock all of them is because we want to dump our points into our best talent tree. We want to have the highest percentage, because upgrading these is complete RNG. That is pretty much it. Hopefully you have a better understanding about all of that. Stay happy, stay safe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.